It's like stepping off a cliff. The heart can no longer compensate.
The longtime emergency doctor at Ascension St. Vincent, Stephen Kempker, was diagnosed with advanced heart failure. It was linked to a genetic heart condition that causes a heart muscle to thicken. Doctors told him a heart transplant was his best chance at survival.
They asked if we were ready for a transplant. I was like, well, we don't really have a choice.
And in December, the call came. A donor heart was available. But there is one problem. A snowstorm was moving through the region. Snowplows met the transplant team at the airport, clearing the way so the heart could safely reach the hospital in Indianapolis for surgery.
We knew that he needed the heart and that the time was critical, and so we did whatever we could within our power to get the heart here, and fortunately was successful.
After weeks of recovery, Dr. Kempker was sent home in January and is continuing to regain his strength. He admits it was difficult to be the patient and not the doctor.
I had to accept the fact that this was a little bit beyond me, so I needed their advice and their care, and they did an excellent job.
Dr. Kempker and his wife, Dr. Kaylin Carty Kempker, a family medicine physician, have served the Salem community since 1993. She says their family understands the sacrifice that made his second chance possible.
And there's no gratitude that you can give for that. And he's here. Somebody did a wonderful thing for several people that night. So I hope someday that we can thank them in person.
Dr. Erica Moore spent the last 3 years battling pain and discomfort.
It started with these weird symptoms, like I felt pressure, pelvic pressure, a little bit of abnormal bleeding, around the time that I menstruate.
She says when the pressure was too strong to bear, she went to her doctor and she was diagnosed with uterine fibroids.
So one of my fibroids is the size of a decent sized plum, and the other ones are grapes that are kind of scattered around my uterus.
There are only a few ways to treat fibroids, all of which involve some type of surgery.
I started finding that there really weren't a lot of options that are not really invasive. Removing the uterus is the only clinical option right now available for most of the women who have fibroids that keep growing.
So Dr. Moore came up with a way to research fibroids outside of the human body.
Unless someone's literally in my body taking biopsy at every single stage of my fibroid development, we have no idea how they form or why they form. And so for me and my group, we have the power to actually engineer different tissues to build these jello models to understand why, certain diseases occur. And so it was kind of this aha moment where I was like, why don't we put the expertise that I have together with this solution that affects almost 80% of women to figure out why fibroids even develop in the first place.
These first-of-its-kind 3D lab-grown fibroids gave Dr. Moore and her team the chance to study each phase of the growth of fibroids and test ways of destroying them while preserving healthy tissue.
So that way, ideally, you wouldn't have to have a big surgery. You could just take something in a pill or put something, deliver it topically or, directly to the fibroid and have that kind of start regression of the fibroid.
So far, Dr. Moore and her team have been able to halt the growth of fibroids, but they're still working to completely get rid of them. She says in order to do that, they have to focus their attention on finding the source of fibroids.
There are so many women and people who are impacted by fibroids, and now that we can all kind of join this chorus, it's like this beautiful choir, right, where we're all singing like, this is a problem, we need more people to help out. And so to have any part in contributing to eventual solutions, I feel like is a privilege.
And as she seeks to create a non-invasive treatment for fibroids, Dr. Moore says she is still dealing with symptoms of her own condition.
Beautiful. So Poplar Public Schools partnered with Campus Guardian Angel to learn more about safety drones. Now the company is offering a new safety service that would allow drones to confront active shooter situations.
And we have more people, students, faculty that are not getting hurt, that aren't dying, and that's the name of the game.
Glenn Coffey is the Poplar Public Schools Safety and Security Director. He tells me he's excited to see the ways new technologies are developing to promote safety at schools.
All times, throughout the entire year, we're always talking about security. What can we do to improve? What's out there? So we're continually looking at different options.
Christoph Oborski is Campus Guardian Angel's Director of Tactical Operations. He says the company is currently in a pilot phase, working with schools in Florida and several other states to test the technology.
These are pieces of plastic that are expendable. We can easily send new ones to the school to replace them. There's no human life attached.
Oborski says the drones are controlled remotely in Austin by trained professionals. Each drone is stored on site at the school. So when a threat is triggered, the response can happen in seconds.
Our drones have two-way communication with the shooter. If he is not shooting, we can take a little time, try to communicate with him, convince him to drop his weapon. If he is actively trying to target children, we will deliver pepper spray through a gel-based form, or we will hit him with a kinetic strike from the drone itself.
This is an image of what malaria looks like within a blood smear.
Ava Hauk is passionate about science.
You can see ring parasites.
She's competed in science fairs for years.
Looking at this, the data set we're going to be testing.
But this project is different.
I am the founder and CEO of CliniView LLC. CliniView is a project I started as a science fair project last year.
The goal is to help doctors diagnose blood diseases faster.
We have a prototype that's made and specifically tailored to help people in other countries where they don't have as much access to trained personnel or resources.
She never expected this.
It was definitely not something I would think would get to this point for sure.
Ava designed and coded a patent-pending AI-powered computer program that recognizes blood diseases, including malaria.
Science fair at the start was just something I did for fun. It was something I was interested in.
Ava credits her interest in science to her aunt, Leanne Hauk.
I wanted to do a project that would help my aunt. At the start of CliniView, it was to help create diagnostics for leukemia because she had had hairy cell leukemia for a year, but it was misdiagnosed.
Leanne beat leukemia and inspired Ava.
Even when I was little, I wanted to do something in entrepreneurship. I had always loved the idea of business and being my own boss. And then I went to the science fair meeting in 7th grade, and I started to find like my own niche. I was really into science. I was really into creating my own things and my own projects.
Now this project is real. Ava's next step is testing that prototype and getting one step closer to saving lives.